Well, welcome back. Let's carry on. And Anheuser Busch. Richard asked about Anheuser Busch. He wants to know what is happening there, and I know he wants to buy the stock. Because I mean, with all these lockdowns over and done with, and people that can buy a little bit of beer, I think he's keen on buying. Well, if you look at the stock, we showed on a previous show this beautiful resistance line that turned into a support. We saw that beautiful goodbye key. So I hope you watched the show a few weeks back. I think it was 2 weeks ago where we showed this. Richard, at this point in time, you can only buy it above this line because it's making a new higher high. Let's have a look there. There you are. It's just on the brink of breaking above that, and that is above 988.9. Well, it's so close to 1,000, it will probably go there. So, Richard, if you want to buy it, there's the low, there's a higher low, there's another higher low. It's on the brink of a new higher high. So if you want to buy it, make use of this stop loss of 944.37, and the targets to the top will be 1,000, of course, first target, 1034, then 193, and even as high as 131 if the momentum carry up, and of course if people start to drink and consume a little bit of alcohol. Let's have a look at Benny's request. He's looking at Astral Foods. He's keen on buying that. Let's have a look and let's see. Where is that one hiding now for me? Astral Foods. Sorry guys, I just want to get in there quickly. Astral. No, not that one. Why do I miss that one now? Let's have a look. Astral Foods. There you are. There you are. Sorry, Benny. It is just me that missed that name there, but there you are. Well, Benny, if you look at Astral Foods, look at the trend. The trend is still clearly down. Well, this was now in 2019, and it's all the way down, and it's at that low again. For me, I would love it to see that the stock can maybe just lift its head above that. Let's have a look there. There you are. You are. And what worries me, I want the stock to turn this line into a support. Look at this negative goodbye keys here. What happens here? There's the low, all the way lower highs. That means it's almost like a waterfall formation. And this goodbye keys makes me a little bit nervous. So I say the stock must get above 144.10 before I will even think of maybe looking at the chart, because then it will turn into a chart that shows me a little bit of strength. Below this little line here, that was the previous low of just a week or two ago. That low is sitting at 136.38. If that turns into a resistance, it can even give us another leg to the downside. So, unfortunately, Benny, I'm not that keen to buy the stock. I'll wait for that. And in actual fact, some people will say to you, you must short the stock. Now, for me, to short the stock that rallies all the way up, comes from 209 to 136 in one go, not a good idea. In actual fact, I will just sit, and it needs to turn this support line into a support before I will look at the stock. And if you do buy that, buy it above 146.65. Make use of that stop loss of 135.40, and then the targets to the top can be 152.74, 160.12, and even 165.57. Just keep in mind that the consumer in South Africa is under huge pressure. So we can easily see that some of these companies, even food companies, struggle a little bit before they carry on. Well, Ishmael asked about RCL Foods, and he's looking at this stock. Let's have a look. RCL Foods, there you are. Now, Ishmael, this is also a food producer. Same story. Look what it is flirting with new lows here. And for me, look at that. Look at the trend. The trend is still clearly to the downside. If you look at this chart, you will say to me, Frans, you're right. The stock is just heading lower and lower and lower. There you are. This chart just tells you the momentum is still clearly to the downside. Nothing makes me excited. We're on the brink of making a new low. If it takes out 838, it can easily go even lower. And where's the target? I just want to extend that a little bit. Below 838, it can maybe go as low as 1818 before it reaches this support line. Yes, it does form a falling wedge. I mean, we're a little bit far from this resistance line. I would love the share to try to breach this line. And that will only be above 936. So above 936, I will look at the chart. And unfortunately, below 835, I will just leave the stock alone because then it can go to 818 in time to come. Let's have a look at some of the other requests. Well, Will is asking about Purple Group. Let's have a look. Purple Group. Now, I mean, this is a South African company. Let's have a look. There you are. Now, Will, what can you say? This is a stock. And this is now a classic Nicholas Darvas stock. And we love to show it on the program. We've did it many a time. And we always say, if a company works on a Nicholas Darvas model, the share rarely disappoints. Now, what happened? I just want to show quickly. It just spent me a minute or say, look at this. There you are. There's the Nicholas Darvas model. That is an area where the stock works on a massive consolidation. And when it breaks that, usually with volume, it usually tells you that the share has turned this into a support and it wants to go higher. And you know what is the beauty about this? The Nicholas Darvas model works in a simple way. Remember, he was a dancer. And he always said that he got some training with a coach. The coach always said to him, if you can train for maybe a year or 2 years to build this, let's call it consolidation, and build your fitness, you will get to a day where you can do better acts and you can maybe perform a little bit better. And then people will pay you more. Now, this is exactly the Nicholas Darvas model. It says that the share gains a lot, and it turns this into a support, and usually it gives you a good buy kiss. And look what happened here. There was almost like a tiny head and shoulder, but from there it just rallied on. So if I look at it, Will, I think you're too late to chase it. Look at this rally. I mean, from 33 cents from 11th of May to 70 cents in a matter of, let's call it, 2.5 months. It's a beautiful performer. So yes, of course, if you want to chase momentum, in actual fact, you need to chase it then above this level because this is a resistance. Right, exactly there. That's at 70 cents. But where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is probably there at 58. I will give you a tighter stop loss. That's at 63. And then it can maybe go all the way to that previous high of 90 cents. I think you may be a little bit late, but this is a classic example of a Nicholas Darvas share. Let's have a look at Telkom. Eugene wants to know about Telkom. Now, I know that Telkom is saying that they want to discontinue some of their services on the copper side. And if you look at this chart, I mean, it comes all the way from 100 Rand right down to the bottom. And I'm seeing something, I think maybe it's working here on the right shoulder. And I'll tell you why, Eugene. It's because I'm seeing this. Well, there's the left shoulder. It's a little bit of a tiny left shoulder. Let's use that line. Much better there. There you are. There you are. There's the left shoulder. There's the head. There we're working on the right shoulder. But we mustn't go below the low of this left shoulder. There you are. There's the left shoulder. Let's just draw that line here. There's the low of the left shoulder. If Telkom goes below 24.90, it wipes off the strength of this left shoulder. Sometimes it does go a bit little lower and go higher. I always use the norm. If it breaks this, be careful because then it shows already some weakness. So let's see. If this turned into a support, your neckline is sitting at 33 Rand 18. It's a little while from here, but it's a weekly chart because you probably want to buy it for a little bit of a longer term. Now, if it goes above 33, 38, then we can see that it can give us a nice rally. And there you are. If that inverse head and shoulder plays out, it can take the stock all the way back to 43.85. So at the moment, it's in limbo. I think it's working on an inverse head and shoulder. I'm not sure. Maybe the left shoulder will be wiped off. If you buy it above this neckline, make use of this low of this left shoulder. And that's at 25 Rand 17 cents as your stop loss. Let's have a look at Visa. I mean, that's the big boys. Now, Visa, Tabu asked about Visa. Tabu, if I look at the stock, look at this beautiful rally here. I mean, from the 1st of March, everybody just bought stuff on internet and they paid it by Visa card. So we're on the brink of a brand new high. Usually what we see is if a stock takes out a high or an index takes out a high, it usually goes a little bit higher because everybody is just so optimistic about it. Now, if I look at this chart here, I will say if it needs to take out this high of 211.16, so it needs to rally above that. And Taba, you will probably just run and chase momentum. So if you do buy it above that level, let's use that line, $200.40 as your stop loss. And of course, above this, it will probably go as high as this psychological level of 220. But once again, I think you want to chase momentum. That's maybe not such a good idea. Let's see if we can quickly do Durban-Roodepoort deep, because we're almost out of time here. Beautiful rally, beautiful ample formation. This is classic to tell you, if a stock just rally, we see lower highs here. I'm a little bit nervous. And who's asked? Oh, Tina's asked about this. Let's just have a look. There you are, Tina's. Momentum still beautiful to the upside. Nothing is wrong with the chart. But if this line turns into a resistance, it's a different story. Then the trend can break to the downside, and that is below 22.50 cents. If it breaks that, it can easily go back to the support of 18.91 rand. So for me, unless it finds support here and this line turns into a resistance, I'll be very nervous on Durban-Roodepoort deep. And as we saw earlier in the previous show, Barry Gold is also warning a little bit. So just be a little bit careful. Well, guys, we're out of time. Thanks for watching the show, and we will talk again.